Sorry, okay, let's get started. So, what was the topic? Sick. Okay. Session variables. I'll just quickly recap in 5 minutes. Because, okay, so overall we have two type of, so overall three, but we from the repository topic point of view, we have only two types. One is repository and session. So how can you make a clear differentiation from the repository to session is, so when you create a variable, if the variable value has to be shared for everyone, okay, which is a fixed or changed on a regular interval. I have a variable A and now the value is 10. Irrespective of which user is trying to log in, for every user it will show 10 only. Because your variable value is 10, it will show 10, 10 for anyone. If you make this 10 to 20, again everybody will see as 20 only. If you make it 30, again everybody will see as 30. And that we have seen. If it is every time fixed, that is a static. If you are changing it, that is a dynamic, and you can choose how frequently you want to change. Now, session variable means I want to change a variable value for every person. I want to show different values for different persons. When I say person, is a raw word, but the technical word is a session or a connection. Why? Because how will I, when person will come to OBIEE whenever he connects. So whenever somebody connects, a connection or a session will be established to OBIEE. So that way I know that this is the guy is coming here and asking or trying to see the value of the variable. So here, in case you have a requirement to show different values for different people, variable will be one only, but I want to show different values for different people. And in that case, you have to go for session. If you want to show same value for everyone, go to repository. If you want to show different values for different people, but variable is one only, so variable will not hold any fixed value. Whenever somebody coming and asking for that guy what has to be given, what has to be available, and that will be different for different people, and you are responsible for writing a logic, okay, to decide what value to be displayed for what people. Okay, that will be writing in SQL. So that's why whenever you create a session variable, okay, first we'll start from initialization block because we have to do. So compared to the repository initialization block and session initialization block, the difference is repository initialization block will be triggered or fired based on the interval time you have given. If you go here, so you'll give a time. So it will execute for every 1 hour, every 1 minute or whatever it is. So whenever it executes this query, it will fire this query, and whatever output you will get from this query, and that will be assigned to a variable. That is clear here. But when it comes to the session variable, session initialization block will be fired, okay, whenever there is a user trying to log in automatically. We don't need to give any intervals or frequency. You are all trying to connect it to OBIEE from your different machines. 100 people if connect, this will fire 100 times individually. One only. Initialization block is one only. You all connecting. So for every one it will fire. And when this fires, okay, your query will be executed. When the query executes, whatever output you get from this query, and that will be assigned to that particular variable. So when he is trying to connect, we have fired a query, I will get a different output for this guy. When she tries to log in, I will fire this query. I am writing a query such a way that I will get a different value for her. Okay, so that variable is single, but when he see value different, when she see value is different. Okay, that is session. So how are we going to differentiate? In session, there are two types of variables. One is system, non-system. System means there are predefined variables. Okay, and what are those predefined variables? When you click system, user, so they are all already there. Okay, to use them, okay, you can use always colon and your variable name. Okay, so username, roles, everything. And in the same way, what I am doing, I am trying to create one variable. One second. Okay, sorry. Uh, yes. Okay. Okay, so now this is how we can use system session variables. Okay, so now we are writing a query such a way that so we have created some users and some information into this table, and whenever there is a user logs in, okay, so we have one table, and this table is going to be important for us now. Okay, so in this table you can create any column names, but what we are doing, I am just creating one column to store the user names, and I'm keeping passwords of the users. Though I'm not using passwords and all, okay, but I've created one table, and in that we have kept my usernames, passwords, and group. Group means to which department he belongs to or which group he belongs to. So that is something like, okay, region or anything, and then roles. So right now we are using only username and group. So this table will give us for any user what is the group he belongs to. So whenever somebody tries to log in, and this query will fire. So now if this let's say for example this guy username is user underscore America. So when he log in, OBIEE will give you, since it is a system user, built-in variable, it will tell you who is the person coming and trying to view this variable. And since this guy username is user underscore America, okay, so from where it will take this information, whenever, so this system variables information will be coming from the browser. So now if I type user underscore America, so usually this will be your colon user value. So when I click this, say okay, if your username password is right, okay, so whatever you have given here, okay, this will become your this value. Okay, so now since this guy is logging, okay, the value will be user underscore America. So then since it is going to replace this value here, then you will get to know what is the department or a group or a region it belongs to. So in the same way, whenever individual users are trying to connect, that the colon user system variable will tell you who is that guy coming inside. Then as per that, it will get the respective or relevant values, and these values will be assigned to this variable. So now this value will be assigned to this variable. Whatever output you get from here, this value will be assigned to this one. So that's why whenever you use this, okay, so based on this, what we have done, since I know that this variable will give different values to the different people. Okay, so what I am doing, making use of this variable, I went to security. So whenever this user logs in, okay, what type of data I want to show him. Okay, and I went and used that variable and put some condition. Previously here I was typing America, for this user America, for this user something else, but now I am using that variable value here. So it is just linking from here. So ultimately how it is coming, just to give a clarity, so user will come from here. It is a browser. You will type your username password, and whenever you log in, connection pool will be, session initialization block will be executed based on this connection. And whenever, let's say this is a connection. So whenever this connection is getting established, okay, you are in, let's say, your RPD and all, your session initialization block will be executed. When session initialization block is executed, what happens? You will get your variable values. So now I will have, so this will give you, okay, now it will tell you variable. I have created one variable called region. So, and I also have colon user. So what is colon user right now? User America. And to get this value, I am writing a SQL, and based on that SQL you will get some value. So what will be the value now for this region? America. Okay, so when they triggered, what are the values are set? Okay, variable region America, and the user is already there. We don't need to give anything. So these are the values set. So now we have security here, identity manager. In identity, what I have done, okay, I have put a condition. So now in this case, what is exactly this one now? When this guy logs in, username is user America, connection established, this will fire. So your variable values are set, and because of this, my variable region value is now America. So that what will be this one now? Region equal to America. The same time, if this guy logs in, okay, a different connection. The last explanation, if you have any questions, ask me. This is the last explanation. Again, same initialization block will fire. But what is the username here? Who is logging here? User Asia. Okay. Now again this will get fired. So for this guy, what will be the here? What will be the condition here? User region equal to APAC or anything. So this way, the same thing, okay, I am trying. So for this user and for this user and for this user, we are trying to execute it. So that way for whatever user, what is the restrictions we have, okay, that. So this is, and the only thing is I am not typing anything else. See, everywhere I am not typing, where is our actual value? In the table, from there we are checking. If I want to change any user region, where should I go and change? Table only. I don't need to touch my repository. So change it in the table, then automatically it will get inserted here. So now this is the session till here session variable. Usage of the session variable we are doing here. That's all. So now in the session variable we have one very important topic. Okay. Using session variable, now I am planning to implement, okay, something called external table authentication. So now so far if you see, I am coming back to security. Where do we create the users in the current situation? First, where do we create users? If I want to create a new user, where are we creating right now? Console. So you have to start giving that word high, otherwise you will not get practice. Where are we creating where are we creating the users? WebLogic console. And where do we give permissions? Hmm? Enterprise Manager, EM. And where are we defining all the security? Create the users there and do this there and do this lot of things everywhere we are doing. So if I want to change a password or if I want to add a new user, okay, what should I do now? First go to console, create the user and define the permissions, and then in case any data level security and all if you want to create, you are going and then creating them. Okay. So this way, okay, it is a very lengthy process. That's why in OBIEE we have a concept called external table authentication. So I will create users in a separate table. I will not depend on the WebLogic. I will create a separate table, and in that table, okay, I will keep all the users, their passwords, their roles, everything I will do there. Okay. So right now what I am doing, I am going to, since I am planning to shift my entire security, okay, to drive from a table, not from the exit. Whatever we discussed, it is fine, it is working. But I have some problems. I don't like this one. So I am shifting this complete security to different area. That is external table. So to do this, first what I am doing, I am first completely removing all the users which I have created here. So I don't have any user except WebLogic. Since we have already deleted them, so if any place, any users are there, I need to. The only problem is I cannot delete. The current version you can delete everything, but right now. So we don't have users and we don't have also any roles. Now I am going to repository. Okay, even these users also, okay, you can delete because I don't have anything here. So we are completely cleaned up. So we don't have any user, we don't have any users added to a role, and we don't have anything. So completely clean. So these are system roles, you cannot delete it. If you delete, your system will not work. Okay, don't delete anything which is system related. Okay, so it is completely clean. We are back to the normal position. Fine. Now, since we know that if any time if I want to create a user, I need to go and create, add role, and if let's say one user I want to give a different role, everything I need to manage from here. So that is a very big problem statement. So that's why what I am doing. First I am creating one table. So already I have created here. So I'll give you in the notes you already have the insert statements, how to insert it. You create one table like this. Just create dummy A, B, C, any column name, username, password, group, and role, anything. Okay. And in the username column, you keep all the usernames. Password column, keep the passwords, and group you give whatever you want. And in the role column, you try to give for every user on what roles you want to give. What are the system roles we have so far? We have seen BA author, BA system, and all that. Okay. So you try to, so right now we have some extra thing. Okay, I will try to delete them. So this is the data I have here. Okay, so far we know, okay, user America, Asia, Middle East, and in the group column I have given what are the groups they belong to, and then in the role column I have given BA author, BA author, BA author. Okay, then I'll create one more user. You give any user, okay, you can give any name, okay, and then password I am giving Apple. Okay, and then group for this guy also I'll say Americas. Then here I am giving BI. So what are the system roles we have here? Author, system role, and what is the default one? BI consumer. So this is how you can insert if you want to insert any record. So now whatever previously I was done in console and also enterprise manager, users, adding the users to a role, everything I have done in a single table. Manually I have done. Users names are there, passwords are there, and then roles also I have given. Every user belongs to which role. So far these are the system role, okay, predefined roles only. So now what I want to do, whenever I try to log into OBIEE, I want to make use of this table. If I type username combination which I have mentioned here, so then I want to log in. Otherwise I don't want to log in. So that is called external table authentication. Means my credentials, security, user, password, everything is defined in a external table, not in OBIEE. And this I want to make use of in OBIEE. That is called external table authentication. Most preferred option in your real time. 80% preferred option. So how to make it? So we are well set with the table is ready and username, password and everything is there. And now to make use of this table, what I am doing, first I am going to session initialization block. So in the session initialization block, so far what are we doing? We are giving some SQL and all that we are doing. Okay, and right now what the session initialization block, we know that every time when a user trying to log in, whenever there is a connection, this will get fired. In session initialization log, there is one option called required for authentication. So when you choose this option, required for authentication option, what happens in OBIEE? Whatever SQL you have written here, you will be writing SQL, right? Whatever SQL you have written here, if that SQL is successfully able to execute, okay, then only it will allow this guy to come inside to OBIEE and then log in. If the SQL is not successfully executed, then it will throw them outside, okay, you cannot log in. Okay, that option is here required for authentication. So now what it does, two activities. Whatever SQL I give here, if it is successfully getting executed, it will allow you inside, otherwise it will throw you outside. If I put a SQL, say for example now if I say select one from dual, what happens? This SQL will be always executed successfully. So everybody will come. But what I am writing here, I am just writing one tricky SQL. What SQL I am doing? I am putting a SQL in the box, okay? I will select uname, okay, and group, okay, and comma role. 3 columns I am selecting. And then in where condition I am putting where user uname equal to colon user. We already know this one. And pwd equal to, like everything is a user is a system variable, role is a system, lot of system variables are. In the same way, we have a system variable called password. Whatever you type here, username, password, this is nothing but this, and this is nothing but this. If I keep this SQL, so forget about selection for a moment. What is there in the where condition? Username equal to user. Whatever you type in the text box. Password equal to colon password, whatever you type in a text box. So when this query will result one proper record, whenever I give a proper, you give any username, password. If this combination is right, your query will return one record. If I type user underscore America and then give password A, it will fail. It will not give any result. If I give the correct combination of the user and password type there, that will come as a filter, and then only it will return one record. Whenever your query is successfully executing as we discussed, this will allow you inside. Your query is not successful, it will throw you back. This way we are making use of SQL. The option is very simple but very powerful. Okay, when this will happens? Only when you have selected required for authentication purpose. If you don't select, it will not do that activity. Your query will be fired, everything will be done, but it will not reject you if the query is not fired successfully. Okay. Now I have written a query. If the query is successful, then only it will. So anybody can log in. Okay, when you don't give option, it will verify your username password in a LDAP, WebLogic. Okay, if you don't give this option, it will check your username passwords in WebLogic. Okay, so right now we don't have any. So if I don't give option, if you don't create any user in WebLogic, you cannot log in. Then no, you cannot log in. See, WebLogic you don't have users, you cannot log in. But one user is there, WebLogic. Only one user is there, that only you can use. Other than that you cannot use. So second section of this is whatever values you get. Now you type something and you give some role, there are some roles. Previously your roles and users, they are coming from the WebLogic software. So OBIEE knows that okay, this is the username, but you are typing something and then it is taking you, but how OBIEE will know that this guy, this user belongs to this role? There is a column role. I know that this guy, I want to make him part of this role. It is in a table SQL, but how OBIEE know? It doesn't know. That's why whatever values you are getting from here, these values I am associating, linking to our variables. User is a system variable, role is a system variable, and group is my another variable, that is a region. So that's why I am going to create, let me okay it, okay, and in this system I am going to create a variable user, and since this user is has to be associated with session initialization log which is created here, I am selecting it. And I am creating one more variable, that is roles. So I have created, this is very important idea. If you don't do this, it will not work. Okay, so I am going and already system variable only, but I am making it ready here, creating, because we are going in a different direction. So I am making this two things here ready. And then already we have a non-system variable region. So total 3 variables are there. If you click, it will show non-system. If you click, it will show system 3. Now I am going to initialization block. Okay, I am again going back. So what I am doing, we have 1, 2, 3 values coming from SQL. This value I want to link to user, this value I want to link to this I want to link to this role. So these are the system. So that's why first is a user, I am moving up. Second is a region, third is a roles. Done. So this step is very, very mandatory. So I am done with everything. Okay. So now I am going to here and then trying to log in with user America1 and password. Invalid username password. And now I am trying to log in with user America. So now I'll try to sign out and then try to log in with, we have created one user 1. Only part of consumer. So now I want to create a new user. Just to go simply insert user 2, give password, give whatever region you want, and then give to which role you want to add. AUTHOR and just execute commit it. So user 2. So I am going now sign out. User 2. Since I have made him part of this one, I will not see author only, but he is not part of the administrator. So now this time what I am doing, for user 2 is asking me system or admin privilege. I can just simply go and add. Whenever you want to make one user part of multiple roles, update So now I am making part of this guy part of administrator and author. Oh shit. Luckily we didn't. So what should I do now? Where, because I want to give role only for this user, update this for this role. This I am doing only for user 2. So you already have user to login, and this time I am trying to log in again with user 2. Now you can see administration. So this way, this is called external table authentication. So we are managing everything outside any user creation and all. So why it is very important is, if I want to change a user password, or if I want to make anything, I can go and do it in a table. I don't need to depend on WebLogic and all. So expansion to this. So right now this table created by whom? By me. I am typing everything. If you go for a real scenario, means this is 100% fine. You can go and say in interview, we are implementing this. Absolutely fine. Sometimes in some projects, there will be some advanced also. What is that? Mostly in OBIEE projects, whenever you are working on OBIEE, whatever table is there, even you don't need to create this table. Whatever I am done, same thing. But the only thing is, the table even still doesn't require to create by you. Wherever in OBIEE software packages, generally wherever Oracle apps, PeopleSoft or Siebel is there, generally we will go for OBIEE. Oracle apps will already have this kind of table. PeopleSoft will already have this kind of table. Okay, that's why we will link our query to their table. So that way we don't need to even create this table. So tables, those tables will be managed by the Oracle apps, PeopleSoft or Siebel people. So we'll just make use of those tables and then use here. That way you don't need to do it. That's why in a realistic situation, you tell this answer, or you can also say that these tables we are pointing to external. Okay, that is also external to OBIEE. That's why it comes under external only, but even we are not creating, we are linking to others. So this is called external table authentication. We will be making use of the table which is created or users created outside and then bringing into OBIEE. Okay, so this is the story of external table authentication. Okay, and there is one more small thing in the session variable again. Okay, one is Rowwise initialization and also creating user defined roles. The two, I will take 10 minutes break and then come back. Okay, small item which is, so far we know there are roles, BI system administrator and all that, but we can also create our own roles. Okay, so the role creation will be done in the enterprise manager only. So for BI administrator and all this, you don't need to create any roles because they are already there. But sometimes we want to create your own role. Why we need a role, we'll see right now. Okay, but I'm creating a role here in the enterprise manager. So generally, where do we create role? In enterprise manager. When you create the role in enterprise manager, then only we can see that here. Okay, so I'm not creating any user, I'm just creating one new role. So now why I'm creating this role is a very basic question. So now I want to implement right now we are in a data level external table authentication, right? Okay. So now I want to implement data level security. What is data level security? If a user logs in, whenever he try to generate a report, I want to see only one particular set of data. So where do we create or where do we configure this data level security? Previously we have done. Where do we do? In RPD, in identity manager, and what is that we require? We'll double click one thing. Where do we double click? Yeah, so first of all you have to double click the user. For which user, what type of data you have to show. So I'll double click the user, you will get 3 tabs and then we'll select some condition there. But now, do we have the users in the repository right now? No, because you will see users only when they have created in a web library. But where are our users now? In an external table. But if I have a user, then only I can set the object level security. And there are already, and this is one set actually. The second set, for user, okay, if I want to do a access level security, means that role, BI author or administration kind of permission or accessing, if you want to do, where are we doing? So generally in older case, I went to enterprise manager and then every user I am adding to that and that way. But right now what are we doing? That information we are putting table only. That we are taking. So now we know what is happening right now. So now what is my requirement is, I want to define one security for a user or a role, whatever it is. But we don't have a user. Users are in a table, okay, but I cannot, since they are not available here, so I cannot define a security here. If I want, I can, but what I can do, these users I can add it to a role. Okay, so how to add to a role we already know. Okay, one is we can do from this side or this side, and for those roles, okay, roles will be automatically coming to, we are not creating any user, okay, and we already have some roles, system roles, okay. So making this arrangement, making use of this arrangement, what I am doing first, I am creating a role in the enterprise manager. So I am not creating a user, I am creating a role. What role? We already have users, but I am creating, we can also create our own roles. So what role I am creating? I am just creating like, so actually this has to be activated. Just try to, it is a small bug here actually. You try to change buttons so that it will be activated. Okay. So just click on create button. And then you can give any name. The role is nothing. Any role you can give. Role. I am giving a role as okay, customer role. I am giving a role as a customer. And say okay. So when you create a role here, okay, it is just a dummy role, that's all created. So these roles will be automatically coming to here. Users not created, but roles we can come automatically here. So I'm trying to synchronize to get whatever role we have created there and into this one. So this is your enterprise manager. And I have a role. And this is the RPD. So your role is automatically will coming over here. Okay, so roles will come. So I have not done it, just creating the role. I have just created a role and then the role is automatically coming to this particular section. Done. Now if you remember how to add a user to a role, we already done it. So I have a role. So previously we have a role BI administrator, BI consumer, BI author is the roles are there. So we have added users to roles in external table. How did we add it? Means generally you go to role and but so generally we add the roles in the enterprise manager, double click the role, add user, but we don't have a users. So how did we made our arrangement to know that this user belongs to this role? External table. What are we doing in external table? Every user to which role he belongs to we are keeping here. So now here also, now you have a role. So this is created by me. But what are the users to be part of this role? What this role does we don't know, but role is created. But I don't know who will be the part of this user. Okay, so we already done it for the BI administrator. So now if you want to make a user part of this particular role which is newly created, so you can just go and again say, so now I am making currently this user underscore America is part of BI author and one more role what we have just now created, role CUST. So now you know, now OBIEE knows that, okay, there is a role created and that automatically comes to RPD. From the external table, now we know that which user is part of this role. Okay, you role created, role automatically come to RPD, no problem. And in external table we are given this user, okay, or which users part of this particular role. You can make one more user or any other people also part of this particular role. Done. So if you just do it, leave it, nothing will happen. So now there is a user and he is part of this role. If it is a BI administrator or something, you will come to know whether it is administrator or. But what is it? It doesn't have anything. But what you can do by making this arrangement is go to RPD. So we have a roles. Okay. So in this role, what I am doing, I am double clicking the role which I have created just now. So this is a role, dummy blank role. Okay, and what I am doing, I am giving a security to this role. Whoever is part of this particular role, okay, for them what I am doing, I am giving some condition. I don't know who will be part of this role, but whoever is part of this role, for them I am putting this. So now example, user America logs in. Okay, what is the variable value you will get for variable region if user America logs in? User underscore America. When he logs in, what will be the value here? America. Okay, region equal America. Okay, so whenever that guy logs in, so he is part of this role, but in the role I have given a condition. So this condition will be automatically applied to that particular user. So now at the same time, I will also make part of this guy I just added, okay, some security there. So now let me refresh it. Is part of how many roles? Author and also role cast. Okay. So now I am going here. So in the role cast there is something we have put. What is that? Region equal to variable name. What is the variable name for him now? America. So if I go and try to select this region column, you will see only America. Now, if any other user logs in, let's say user Asia, he is part of which role? Only author. So now I am selecting region. So now what I am doing, I am also making user Asia part of role cust. So he is also customer, working in a customer department. But so now when this guy logs in, what will be your variable value? APAC or whatever, Asia. So I just made some changes here, that's all. Okay, now I am trying to log out. Previously, you know, it is showing all the regions. So now we made him part of this role, but in the role I put some condition. So whatever you put in a role, that will be applied to all the users whoever is part of them. So this is the real implementation of security in the real time. Okay, object level, data level, and validation, everything will be done this way. Okay, so that's why ultimately you will create roles in the enterprise manager. You already have system roles, defined role, but you will also create some extra roles. Why? You three people are belongs to finance. These three people are belongs to something else. For this particular people, what kind of restrictions you want to do for data or object level. So to do that, so we will create roles. We will make users part of the, even that is also I am not doing automatically from SQL only, table only. That's why ultimately you will just to do one activity, that is creation of the roles in the enterprise manager. That's all. Remaining all will be coming from here. For data or any object level security, if you want to implement, for those roles, we will define the object level security. So automatically it will be done. So two things, defining the roles, because role defining will be permanent almost. Maybe unless there is a minimal changes, it is a not repetitive activity. And making user part of a role we are doing from SQL only. So that you can do from outside. This is how finally security will be implemented, all the types of the securities. So now there will be last option in the session variable, that is called Rowwise initialization. In RPD you can create n number of initialization blocks. But one initialization block you can write only one SQL. You cannot write 2-3 SQLs. Okay, so but all initializations blocks will be executed whenever anybody logs. So now in OBIEE so far any variable can hold only one value at a time. But here we have two extra benefits, okay, under one category called row-wise initialization. So this is interview purpose, okay, important. What is row-wise initialization will do? Two things it will do. You can create variables dynamically, and for one variable you can place multiple values. Two things you can do in the row-wise initialization. So I am creating, okay, first what I am doing, I am creating one table in the, already I have it, let me check, otherwise we will create it. So let's take this one better, okay. So now what I am doing, I am creating a new initialization block here, new session initialization block. So generally to create a variable, what we'll do, we have to create a variable, we have to put a SQL and all that. For every, we have to do everything is manually. But right now what I am doing, I placed one SQL, okay, and something is there. Okay, first let me show a single one, then I'll go to that. Okay, say okay. So now in the target, I am not creating anywhere. Generally we will create variables. Okay, I am not creating any variable. I have one SQL, that's all. I went to target, I have not created a variable. I selected Rowwise initialization. Okay, say okay. Done. And this is nothing to do with the variable user, password or anything. It is a normal session initialization block and put some SQLs. So now what I am doing, I am just refreshing it. So WebLogic is not there in the external table, that's why. So whatever user is there with BA administrator, okay, then only you can come over here. So now I am logging out. You can use same user also, no problem. Let's take user RP only. No? You can log in with any user. Okay, now I am just going here and then selecting one column. Let's take a easy one. So generally if you want to see a variable value, what I'll do, I'll type the variable name. So in the repository so far, how many variables we created? Only one session variable only created. Okay, but now what I am doing, in place of this, I am giving a variable name test1. Do you have any variable created by name test1? No. But you got some value. What for variable there is a value available. First of all, we have not created a variable, okay, and I am selecting it, and then so what it means that whenever you select a session initialization block, a row-wise option, what OBIEE will do? It will take data from the SQL. What is the output of this SQL? This. It will take all the first column distinct values as a variable, one variable. So right now, how many distinct values we have? Two. Test1 and test2. So OBIEE will treat test1 is one variable, test2 is another variable. And right side second column, whatever is there, that will take the value for that variable. If I want to create a new variable, I don't need to go to RPD. Just come inside test3 and put some value. That will become, so dynamically we are creating a variable. So I can also select one more variable. Test2. what is there in the test 2 fun part. Okay, so Rowwise initialization can help creating the variables dynamically. So in this situation, I have one variable, one value. So now I have one more table here. How many distinct values we have in the first column? Values are 5 records are there, but how many distinct values are there in first column? 2. Test 1. Why they are repeated? For one test 1, I have given 3 values the right side. Row-wise initialization can also hold more than one value for a variable. Previously, maybe in a normal method is not possible. So now I am changing the query here. Okay, you will get, but there is a small limitation. Interview wise important. These are, see, for last 3-4 days topics are very critical. All other topics are something different. These are all your typical OBIEE questions. So I am selecting again. So we know 2 variables are there. But this time what is difference is in database for one variable there are 3 values. Okay, so now you will get an error. So this is also your interview question. What it says? Test 1 is defined as row-wise initialization. It is restricted to usage with equality comparisons. Row-wise initialization can help you to create variables dynamically. A. B. Row-wise initialization can help you to assign multiple values to a single variable. B. But in the B condition is that whenever your variable is holding multiple values, that cannot be used to display just like what is. But it can be used in a conditions. So I'll do conditions. Okay, right now I cannot do this. Okay, so that's why what I am doing. Anything you can use it. Anything you can use it.
Same expression, value list of, instead of value of, value list of.
No, no, list of not the variable you cannot say it is a column, right? The column is one value, but here you have an array of values. That's why you cannot fit it out. No, no, that no, not this one. This will be value. No, here I am not giving anything. It is taking from the OBIEE. I am not typing, right?
Value of, instead of value of, take value list of.
That will be a different one. No, no, there is no function by name value list. That is a user defined. And no, forget about that. The problem is a column expects a single value, but you have an array of the values. You cannot fit it over there. So that's why what I am doing, I'll show how you can use it. Three are there. Okay. This can be used in a condition. This will be learning in a reports. Okay. I used a variable test2. There are 3 values, but I put a condition where brand equal to or in. Whatever comes from here, that will be applied as a condition. So how many values we have for 2? Mistake fun part. That's why it is only showing mistake fun part. If I make this to test1, how many values we have? 3. So this can be used in a comparison operator, but it cannot be used because the meaning of array of values you cannot place and display. That's the reason it can be used in a comparison. Okay. So Rowwise initialization means you can create variables dynamically. You can associate multiple values to a single variable. In that case, this can be used only in a comparison operators, not in a this way. Okay, that is the end of the session variables or session initialization log. Very important. External table, these that all putting to so starting from the security. We started user creation till end. Lot of mix and match is there. You just practice it. Okay, but we can, if you want to make it simple, we can cut short the topic, but all are important. So try to learn one by one, one by one. Okay, so this is end of your complex RPD, means topics in the complex. So we have some simple topics. Okay, they'll go like, okay, event pooling, cache, all easy. Okay, there will be one or two interview questions. Okay, that will take from tomorrow. So this will be from RPD. This is the complex topics. Remaining all 1, 2 just by heart and then you can manage. But this you need practice.
Essentially security, logic plus security. External table
రెండు చేయకూడదు ఇదే చేస్తే ఏమైనా కూడా ఇదే పని చేస్తుంది ఎందుకంటే ఇది ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది కదా ఇదే పని
ఎక్సెల్ షీట్ పంపించలేదు ఈ ఎక్సెల్ షీట్
ఇదా పంపించిన